Alright guys, let me give you my review of Mafia, the old country. So I have a bit of history with the Mafia franchise. I played Mafia 2, Mafia 3, Mafia 1 Remake. So I was like, oh, Mafia, the old country's coming out. I'm interested. I played the other three games. I've enjoyed them. These games are like a one-time playthrough type of games. They really don't warrant a second or third playthrough, especially Mafia 3 with how big and long that game is. So I was like, and the developer was like, you know what, guys, we don't want to waste your time. This is like a linear game, it's a story-based game, and it's only going to be $50. I was like, you know what, sign me up. I'm definitely going to try this game out. So I traded in a bunch of garbage PS5 games that I had left over, and I got it for free. I didn't, no money out of my pocket. So I was like, sweet, great, let's start it up. So what do I think? The gameplay, let's go with the gameplay. The gameplay is pretty much, it's a movie game. Have you played a Sony movie game before? Like The Last of Us Part 1, Last of Us Part 2? It's like that. It's a third-person shooter with a lot of heavy narrative focus. The third-person shooter, if you played any third-person shooter in the last 10 to 15 years, this is how you know how this game plays. It's over the shoulder. You're going to shoot with your various different guns. You're going to have a weapon wheel. You're going to lob grenades. Is there anything else for me to tell you? No. Unless you were born yesterday, you've probably played this type of gameplay before. Now, the part that I don't like is the melee combat sections. They're really ugly. I don't know what the developers were thinking with the button mapping. X is to parry, A is to dodge, B is for a quick attack, Y is for a heavy attack, RB is to break someone's defense. I just could not commit this button mapping to my muscle memory. I was always pressing X for the attack or A for the attack, and yet I was dodging, so I was just getting caught messed up. So I was like, what's going on here? And these sections really aren't great, and they aren't a really big part of the game. I don't know why they couldn't have found another melee combat system where in a game that was done better and just made that better. I don't know why, but it is what it is. Do I like them? No, but they're not a big part of the game, so whatever. Just get through them. They're not that difficult anyways. And the other part of the gameplay, you're just walking through cutscenes, listening to characters talk. I guess if you're really into the story, it could be compelling. It can be compelling. But other than that, there's not much more gameplay. I wish they had side quests, side activities, or something. But I guess it's just a straightforward linear experience, which I guess works in some games and it doesn't work in other games. But that brings us to the story. The story itself is, if you played Mafia 1 or 2, you played this game's story. You start out as a small-time guy. Don picks you up. You get into his family. You work your way up through the ranks. You get the girl. Something happens. You get into trouble. You got to do something. And that's how the story ends. You've seen it a million times before. Is it the most interesting story? No, definitely not. Is it entertaining? Yeah, I would call it entertaining. I had fun with the story. Although you could see the twists and turns, if you could call them that, coming a million miles away. Yeah, but hey, it is what it is. This is the type of game you buy, you beat in a week, and you trade in. It's not a game that you keep. That's why I don't like digital games. Because if I bought this game digitally on Steam or on the consoles, what would I have done with this game if I beat it after a week? That's the problem. There's really nothing else to do after you beat the story. I wish they had side quests to flesh out additional characters or to explore the island of Sicily, more stuff to do, more side activities. There's really not much else to do outside of the story, which is quite a shame. I get what they're trying to do. You want one linear experience, but that linear experience has to be super duper strong for it to be very compelling. Otherwise, you got to add other stuff. I wish they added other stuff because the world itself is compelling. Is early 1900s Sicily. I would love to explore what other characters are doing, what other factions are experiencing, or what hardships and struggles people are going through the world. That would have been compelling. I wish they would have added that in. With Mafia 3, for example, they had that DLC that explored other side stories, which I really enjoyed. I wish they would do something like that here, but they didn't. And I don't think they will, which is quite the shame. So, anything else? The graphics? I think the graphics are phenomenal. I'm not going to be picky on the graphics. They're very presentable. There's no complaint from me on that. The controls, I have no complaint on the control other than that horrible melee combat system. That's it. What do I give this game a score of? I give it a 6.5 out of 10. It's serviceable. It's a game you play in a week and you beat it and you give it back, you trade it or you sell it. You don't keep this type of game. That's pretty much it. It's not a keeper. I'm sorry to say, but there's got to be more in the package for me to keep it or for me to play it, but there isn't. It's like a movie game. It's like a movie. You watch the movie, you're done with it, you're gone. Why would I want to rewatch it again? I'm not crazy. So, yeah, a 6.5. I think the other Mafia games were better. I thought Mafia 1, 2, and yes, even 3 were better than Mafia the Old Country. I actually really enjoyed 3 for some reason. So yes, my score is 6.5 out of 10. You guys let me know what you think.